Hello, good evening. I am glad to be able to come back to you again and tell you more about the history book, our history book that I found here at my house. Um, I'm happy to come to you with more of our ancestors' accomplishments. I will do all things in order. I want every black household to own a copy of this book. As we delve deeper into the contents of the book, I'm sure you will be as happy as I am about the finding of this book. It is mind-boggling to think that these people who were little more than savages and had no wealth, education, or self-wealth or worth, and they accomplished so many things 40 years after being freed from slavery. But there were people also of other races and other countries that loved our people and helped them, and they saw the worth in them. They saw that they did have intelligence. They were scholarly. All they needed was training. Our people have hungered for knowledge. They wanted respect, integrity, and noble characters. We're going to be talking about our old home, and the book takes us from our journey from our old home to our new home. It tells us of the choices that our people made, that they were able to go home if they had wanted to. The Liberian government was giving them land, money, and taking care of them for 5 years until they were able to take care of themselves and that their crops would produce. And many made the choice to stay here in the new world. The book tells us about who we are and where we truly come from. This book says that we are, our father, according to the book, was Ham. We either come from his grandson or his son. And I think the book will clear it up when I get a chance to read it again. I'm not really sure because it's a big book. And as I said before, I have had to study it and read it and try to edit it through sickness and breakages and tears, but I'm still trying to hang in here. We have a rich history, and we deserve to know our history like any other race. I'm not an orator. I am just a 60-year-old grandmother that my Lord and our God is leading to do what I'm going to do. I must finish this race, my race. It is to give hope to our people, show our children that we crave love, honor, respect, education, religion, that we love Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit. I hope to uplift and enlighten our race, my people, with the truth of our history written, published, and copyrighted by our own ancestors, coming from their own minds and their own words. We'll go through some of their schools that they actually attended, and we'll find a lot about what it means to persevere. We are not a people who run and hide. We're not a people that give up because of adversity. We don't think to go and run over, jump in front of a train or jump out of a building just because I lost a job. Well, we used to losing jobs. But God has given us a job, and that's to take care of each other. Each one of us is liable for the other's lives. We're to love one another. We're down here on this planet together. Where are you going to go? You can just go so far, and you have to come back. So we're here, stuck here together. Let's learn to love one another. Let's tell the truth to one another. Let's let each other know that we are loved. and that we are wanted, because we can't leave each other. But the only way to get away from each other is to die, and I don't want to do that. Excuse me 1 minute. Yeah, earlier this morning I was able to do some reading from some of the excerpts that I have, and this is where I left off, which is going to be page 42 in the book. Will it be possible for the Negro to attain in this country unto the American type of civilization? Number one, this interrogatory appears to presuppose that the 17 or more million of colored people in the North and South America are not a part of the American population, but do not constitute a part of its civilization. Number two, the United States of America, for this being the largest and the most powerful government on the continent, on the American continent. So the Negro is regarded as a foreigner and segregated race. The American people, therefore, who grade the type of American civilization are made up of white people. 4, the Indian, Chinaman, and a few Mexicans are not taken in account any more than the Negro by reasons of their diminutive numbers, and not because they are regarded wanting in intelligence capacity and intellectual capacity as the Negro is. Number 5, the above is an interrogatory that can be easily answered if the term American is to include the United States and the powers of that the powers that enact its laws and proclaim its judicial decisions. 6, civilization contemplates that fraternity, civil and political equality between man and man. That makes his rights, privileges, and immunities inviolable and sacred in the eyes and the hearts of his fellows. Whatever may be his nationality, language, color, hair texture, or anything else that may make an external variation. Number 7, civility comprehends harmony, system, method, complacency, urbanity, refinement, politeness, courtesy, justice, culture, general enlightenment, and protected of life and person to any man, regardless of his color or nationality. Number 8, it is enough for a civilized community to know that you are a human being, to pledge surety of physical and political safety to you. But such is not the condition of things as they apply to this country. I mean the United States. Number 9, true, we are a nation, a national Congress, state legislature, subordinate and Supreme Courts, and almost every form of government necessary to regulate the affairs of a civilized country. Number 10, but above these, and above law and order, which these legislative and judicial bodies have been organized to observe and execute justice in the land. We are often confronted through the public press with reports of the most barbarous and cruel outrages that can be perpetrated upon human beings known in the history of the world. Education of the Negro. There are four fundamental American doctrines that both experience and philosophy attest as being right. The right of education is a human right. That the schools furnished by the state should be open to all the children of the state. The safety of the state depends upon the intelligence of our citizens of that state. As a matter of self-defense, the state should compel all of its citizens to become intelligent. These doctrines have their root in the great truth that every individual is a member of society, and that therefore society has an interest in him, in his capacity, in his intelligence, in his worth, and in turn is injured by his incapacity, his lack of worth, his ignorance. I read to you earlier about the requirements for the exhibit in Paris on the exposition in 1900. And I'm going to take time now and tell you something about each one of the individuals. The 20th century Negro literature essayist, D.W. Culp, C-U-L-P, graduated Biddle University, 1876, Princeton, 1879, University of Michigan, Ohio Medical University, 1891, Clark University, South Atlanta, 1901. Professor W.H. Krogman occupies the chair of Greek and Latin, Clark University, Atlanta, Georgia. He went to Millborough, Massachusetts, District School, 1869. Pierce Academy, Millborough, 1870. Instructor in English at Chaplin University, falls of 1873. Graduated Atlanta University, 1873. Clark University, 1880. Miss Josephine Sloan Yates graduated Rogers High School, 1877, Newport, Rhode Island. State Normal School, Providence. 8 years spent in the Lincoln Institute, Jefferson City, Missouri. She was in charge of the Department of Natural Science, president of the National Association of Colored Women. Reverend J.W.E. Bowen, D.D., Preparatory School of New Orleans. At New Orleans University. At 17, the Reverend W.E. Bowen was professor of Latin and Greek, Central Tennessee College at Nashville. Boston University, degree of B.D. in 1885. PhD in 1887 from All Sciences of Boston University. He also did special advanced work. He also, he also did special advanced work in Greek, Latin, Hebrew, Chaldees, Arabic, and German. And in the